about the difference in when we had our first child, because we had quite a difference of a age gap. I was 27 when I had Katie, and you
41.
were 41.
Yeah.
So describe what that kind of felt like being, I hate to I'm not trying to call you old, but being that far down the road and that hitting you versus, feeling like, well, I should have had one. If I was going to have one, I should have had one before 30. Like, that's always everybody's saying, my last kid's going to be at 30 years old.
All right. Well, thank God I didn't have it before 30 because I was a freaking mess.
All right.
Like that's the first thing. Like there was a lot. So, I got sober at 30, right before my 36th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God I did not have a kid before that, because that daughter would have had issues, major issues. And so there was one half of me going like I've been kind of a up for 35 years of my life. What the hell am I doing raising a kid? That's when that hit when the baby was there, and like that it turned into a little bit of a spiral for a couple months, to be honest with you. And then the other part was what I said, like that. Thank God, like I was, like God timed it right, because if I had a kid when I wasn't ready, I'm a much different person today. This might surprise you, but I'm a much more patient person than I was back then. I've got less of a temper.
That's good. That's good.
I was like the stereotypical angry young man, always mad at everything.
I feel like you're pretty good at like passive-aggressiveness now, so you don't necessarily.
Well, I was raised in an Italian household.
Yeah, I feel like you don't get so like aggravated in
No.
in time, in turn, in the moment.
Long Island Italians, passive-aggressive and guilt.
Guilt.
That's so. I'm purebred.
I can vouch for that.
Yes. It works. That's how you raise children. That is not advice and not what I want to do either.
Right.
So yeah, there was a mix of those two things. I mean, really, there was a feeling of, thank God that my wife, who is my wife, was the mother of my kids, and who she is. I don't think I put as much thought into that, because when we first met, I wasn't sure if I wanted kids.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted kids, but then I reached a certain age where I just felt like, all right, I kind of got used to being someone who wouldn't have kids, and then I'm like, maybe I'm just too old for this. And when we first met and she talked about that, like I kind of said, like, I don't think I want kids. I was 39 when we met, so
it's easier without them, but
yeah.
But it is
funny now, since we've had one, she says I don't think I want kids all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's such a blessing though. Like I'm probably the hardest on my kids, and I always, me and my wife talk about it all the time. Like I'm just stressed through the roof, but I almost wouldn't want it any other way. So it's a crazy thing to think about. Like you're at a certain point in life where you feel like, I don't need kids. Yeah. I'm not gonna have kids, and then one comes in your life, and holy shit, what a difference.
Well, we were trying. So I remember talking to people.
Oh yeah, mine was an accident. Yours was on purpose.
We were deliberately trying, and I remember talking to people when I realized that my wife was going to be the one, and I mentioned, like, she wants kids. I'm not sure if I want kids, and many people said to me, when you find the right woman, you'll want kids. Mm-hmm. And with no bullshit, I remember just looking at her one day, and I just thought to myself, like, I want to have a baby with this person. Like, I really did. And that was before we were engaged. I had the ring already. She didn't know. But she didn't pressure me to want to have kids. It wasn't a topic we discussed regularly. We actually discussed, like, just a good life would be having a camper and driving all over the continent.
Yeah.
That would be something we would both be really fulfilled doing, and might end up doing one day too.
Yeah. I mean, you always got retirement for that.
Yeah. Well,
that's in like what, 5 years?
Yeah, I'll be like 86. So, but yeah. So that was the mix of it, and then it just kind of it was around 3 months old where I was just like really settling in and just anytime I wasn't home, I was missing my daughter. I remember being on a business trip, and I had a non-refundable ticket on the way home, and I just bought another ticket a day early and didn't go to the last day of the seminar. I'm like, I just want to be around. I was staying with a friend of mine who had a 2-year-old daughter, him and his wife, and they just happened to live in the same city as the place, and I was just like looking at them. I'm like, I miss my wife and daughter. I want to go home.
Isn't it crazy how that happens? Man, we eloped when we got married, and we were supposed to be in Utah for 9 days. Mm-hmm. And day 8 came around, and we just looked at each other, and this is the first time either one of us had been away from our kids for more than like 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And so we were on day 8, and we just looked at each other. We were supposed to go to Salt Lake City the next day and like kind of explore, and we were like, we gotta go. So we took the hit on the extra night of the little Airbnb that we stayed at, the Cool Springs Ranch.
Doritos?
Yeah, Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch. Nacho cheese.
No, it was
right. They didn't have
Cool.
any vacancy?
I think it was Cool Springs Ranch. It was in Utah, and we just decided. I mean, like, we got to go home. Like, we just missed our kids, and that's the gratifying feeling. Every time you feel like something gets overwhelming, you get put into a position like that. Now it's like a day or two. I mean, we can't even go a night without them, and we're like missing them immediately.